is not ready in Texas for the Cowboys and the Redskins on Thanksgiving. We're well fortified down on the field. Each sideline is covered. We start on the Washington side and welcome in Aaron Andrews.
Joe, thanks so much. You know, I had a chance to speak with RG3 right before the bye week, and he said, I just want to be better in the second half and more energized and do whatever I can to get this team into the playoffs. And true to his word, he was on absolute fire against the Eagles last week. And speaking to some of his teammates like Santana Moss or Ryan Kerrigan, they say he's one of the biggest reasons why this team has a new sense of urgency. In fact, Moss said this guy ignites us like fire. When he's out there doing his thing, it just rubs off. For more on the Cowboys, let's send it over to Pam Oliver.
Well, Aaron, the Cowboys know they will have their hands full today, but linebacker DeMarcus Ware is very confident in the game plan. He was very specific. He said, we have got to confuse him, make him go to his second and third reads, and when there's coverage, let's confuse him, just make him think it's something else. He also said, this is big. When he wants to run, we have got to corral that rookie. Back to you.
All right, thank you both. We're going to see him right out of the gate as the Redskins won the toss they received. Bailey kicks it away, playing football on Thanksgiving. A Dallas tradition, and RG3 and the Redskins will start at the 20. Troy coming off at least their most lopsided victory of the season. This guy had a perfect quarterback rating. Robert Griffin III. He had only one incompletion. He threw for 4 touchdowns, and what you said earlier, he does not turn the ball over. There's so many things he's done here that's just made him one of the most dangerous playmakers in the game already.
No question. I mean, he's a dynamic player, and even last week, Joe, as good as he was throwing the football, he was able to escape the rush, had over 80 yards rushing in that game.
He starts with a toss to his fellow rookie Alfred Morris, and he is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage by about half a yard. So no gain to start the day for Morris, and we'll look at this offense. There's the offensive line protecting RG3, and then the backs and receivers with Garcon on the outside, Joshua Morgan, Santana Moss. You can factor him in as well. He's still been a home run hitter for this Washington offense.
Well, you talk about RG3 and the contributions that he has made. The other reason why this offense is vastly improved from a year ago is they've been healthy along that offensive line.
One guy they do miss is tight end Fred Davis. Says RG3 has it dropped. Fake to his left. He found his tight end Logan Paulson. Hit him right in the gut, and Paulson put it on the ground. 3rd down and 10, and now we look at this 3-4. Jay Ratliff is out with a bad groin. He's also dealt with a bad ankle. He is their nose tackle. Here are the linebackers. They miss Sean Lee, and then the secondary will be tested by the great play fake that RG3 has. You see the rookie Claiborne on the outside. Third down and 10. Griffin flushed, and he just throws it away. They're going to throw a flag for grounding. Hatcher was there, and he was able to bring down Robert Griffin from behind.
On the offense, number 10, loss of down, spot of the foul, 4th down.
So they mark it back inside the 10.
You'll see DeMarcus Ware, he goes inside on left tackle Trent Williams, and then that gives Jason Hatcher just a free path. That's an excellent play by Jason Hatcher. Time after time last week and throughout this season, you see RG3 escape that type of pressure. Hatcher gets him in the backfield.
Harris waiting for the punt. Does not call for a fair catch. Pretty risky. But he's able to inch his way into Washington territory, and the 5-5 Cowboys get a 3-and-out defensively, and now we'll look at Tony Romo, who has not thrown a pick in 4 of his last 5 games, and the season numbers are pretty good except for turning it over. He has done so 16 times. That's tied for 4th most in the NFL, but he's limited those of late.
He has. You know, I mean, he hasn't thrown one in the last 3 games, you know, so he's done a much better job protecting the football. He's completed over 70% of his passes during the last 3 games. And that certainly will be an important element here in this ball game.
Romo for Bryant, and a flag. They're going to get cornerback Josh Wilson for not turning around.
Well, Des Bryant had the hot hand last week against the Cleveland Browns. You see there's definitely contact at the top of the route by Josh Wilson, and he never gets turned around. That's just an easy call.
First down, spot of the foul.
That's Bill Levy, who was fighting for airtime with Troy Aikman on that first call on the pass interference, and it's a spot foul.
It's hard enough fighting for airtime with you.
No, I knew that was coming. From the 35, first down. Handoff is to Felix Jones. And Jones, who tweaked his left knee last week in that overtime win over Cleveland, gets 5. And now we look at what is now really a makeshift and reshuffled offensive line.
Well, it is, because throughout the season, the problems that they had, or at least the injuries, had been at the center position. All the other positions, the other 4, had been stabilized. But because both centers going down, they move right guard Bernardo to center. They bring in Derek Dockery, and then left tackle Tyron Smith. He went down last week in that win against the Browns.
On second down, it's Felix Jones again. Doesn't go down easy. First guy there was Gomes, a gain of 1. Rob Jackson, the linebacker, in as well. And it'll be 3rd down and 4. And here is the 3-4 defense, coordinated by Jim Haslett. And this is a day where they really miss Brian Arakpo, their outside linebacker, against these real shaky offensive tackles for the Cowboys.
Well, this Redskins defense, their front 7 is pretty good. That's really the strength of this unit. And it's been hard to run the ball against them. It's hard to imagine the Cowboys, who have struggled running the ball, are going to have much success on the ground in this game.
On 3rd down, Romo with protection finds Witten, and Witten finds a first down. The all-time leading receiver has career catch number 770.
They try to put their hands on him as he comes off the ball, and that's just the greatness of Jason Witten. I mean, he's one of the best to have ever played that position in the history of this game, and he's a hard matchup. And Jim Haslett, when talking to him just the other day, he said, hey, Witten is going to get his catches. He gets them every week. We've just got to limit the big play. If that's all he gets today, Haslett will be very happy if they don't see him running down the middle of the field open.
But it did come on 3rd down for a first down, and this pass is caught. That's Des Bryant. And Bryant is down very near another Dallas first down as he gets 9, maybe 9.5. Mark just short of a first down.
Jason Garrett said the route that they've been working on with Des Bryant, as you see him cross the screen from right to left, is that route right there. They call that the zero route within this offense. Versus man, he stays on the move. Versus zone, he'll hook that up in an open space, and he's able to continue to run on that route in a nice completion.
Inside the red zone, delayed handoff to Felix Jones, and Jones has got a Cowboy first down. And what we've seen, Troy, quick throws for Tony Romo with that reshuffled offensive line in front of him, and coming off a game in which he was pounded for a career-high 7 sacks against the Browns.
Well, it's a good start for Dallas. I mean, they really have not gotten off to great starts here in recent weeks. Certainly not last week. Shut out in the first half against the Browns. So for them to get the ball here on this opening possession and get down in here in scoring position, it's been good for them.
On first down, pass is behind Austin, who then gets popped at the end of it by London Fletcher, who is playing in his 235th consecutive game. He's dealing with an ankle sprain, but he answers the bell every week. And here's that hit after the throw was behind from Romo.
I mean, London Fletcher, he was in a walking boot. You know, Monday and Tuesday, there was questions as to whether he would be able to play, Joe, as you said. But I think everybody pretty much knew. I mean, he's never missed a game, so he was going to suit up one way or another for this one.
Lance Dunbar in the backfield. They fake it to him, find Harris. And that's well played by Dijon Gomes, the safety out there. A gain of just 3. 3rd down coming up. You saw that graphic. The Cowboys have struggled turning red zone opportunities into touchdowns. Their last 10 trips inside the 20, they've scored 3 touchdowns and given it away twice. 3rd and 7. 3rd and 12.
All start. Number 82 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Witten.
And that's one of the reasons why they've had problems down here in this end of the field. I mean, they've had penalties. They're one of the most penalized teams in all of football because of the false starts. They've had a heck of a problem at pre-snap penalties. They've tried simplifying some things, you know, at the line of scrimmage so that they can settle these guys down. That time it's on Jason Witten. Kind of shake your head at that one, but these 3rd and longs down here in the red zone are tough to convert.
On 3rd down and 12, Romo. Well protected, end zone, incomplete, and that's Fletcher who blasted Miles Austin trying to come down and get his feet in bounds. That guy, who's a 3-time Pro Bowler and in his 15th year out of John Carroll, can still play.
Yeah, it looked like Miles Austin might have had a chance on this ball to catch it and get his feet in bounds. It was going to be along that back line, but London Fletcher reads it beautifully, and he's there to dislodge it. If Miles Austin had been able to haul that one in.
30-yard try from Dan Bailey, who hit the game winner last week against Cleveland. And he is 1 for 1 today. London Fletcher can still play in this league at the age of 37. So smart. And the quarterback of this defense knocked it away from Austin. A missed chance for Romo, and Dallas up by 3. Three points for the Dallas Cowboys to start their day offensively. Tony Romo looking at the pictures or reading Highlights magazine over on the sideline as Banks will take a knee. How about the instincts of London Fletcher? 37 years old, and he can still captain that defense. He made the play. Romo was looking up at this big screen, which is hard to miss in Arlington. 3-0 Dallas. Second possession for the Redskins, again starting at the 20. Alfred Morris, not much room over the right side. He gets 3, knocked out by Spencer. It was 3 and out the first time the Redskins had it. We were all riveted to our television sets and our monitors here in the booth earlier today, watching that overtime game between the Lions and the Texans. A game won by Houston. There's Mike Shanahan, 2-time Super Bowl champion head coach. In his 3rd season running the Redskins. 2nd and 7. He's finally got his quarterback, and Morris, he's finally got his running back. Josh Brent makes the stop, a gain of 3. Let's go to Kurt for a game break.
Well, for the 2nd week in a row, the Houston Texans have to go deep into overtime, and for the 2nd week in a row, they get the victory. This time at Detroit. Shane Graham, 32-yarder to win it with just 2:20 left in OT. 34-31 Texans, 10-1 on the season. Guys.
All right, thanks, Kurt. 3rd down and 4 here. Good pocket, and Garcon makes the move and makes the catch for a 1st down. Working on Brandon Carr, and Pierre Garcon, who's been dealing with a foot/toe problem, is good for a Redskins 1st down.
Some of the poise that Robert Griffin shows when he's in the pocket. We saw it on the first possession on the drop pass by Logan Paulson, but he comes out to Garcon there on 3rd down, and that's a down that they were very good on last week in that win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Overall, they have not been very good. They've gotten their big plays on early downs to pile up the yardage they have throughout this year.
Play action on 1st down. The pass is caught. That's Morgan. And Morgan's got a nice play to start this fresh set of downs. 17 over the left side, forced out by Sensabaugh.
Well-designed play here. RG3 comes out. He fakes to his right. Trent Williams, the left tackle, he shows that he's going to block down, and then he comes out and helps on the block. You get the protection on the outside as well. Just a nicely executed offensive play.
Along with being a charismatic leader right out of the gate, Robert Griffin III has shown unreal ball skills. Got a great play fake that gives his offense an extra half second, letting plays develop. Not this time, as Spencer brings him down. Anthony Spencer gets sack number 5.
Well, Logan Paulson, he's expecting the rush from the outside, and you see his step, and as he steps out, then you've got Spencer who comes underneath that, and he's just got a beeline right to Robert Griffin III. He just has no chance whatsoever. He feels it late, and by the time that he does, Spencer's right on his back.
Got him around the neck and helmet. 2nd down and 17.
Well, you put a tight end to that side, and that's the last place that Robert Griffin thought he would be getting pressure.
That's Banks in motion. Handoff is to Morris. And Alfred Morris, after that loss of 7 on the sack, gets 4. 3rd down and long coming up, and it's worth revisiting what you just said. This Redskins team is 30th in the NFL on 3rd down. They just converted 1, and they're faced with 3rd and 13. Griffin throws behind Garcon, and it's 4th down.
You know, the windows are small because the Cowboys only bring 3 guys, and Rob Ryan has talked about it. He'll bring pressure a little bit throughout this game, but it's not something he wanted to present a heavy dose of. And Robert Griffin has been very good against the blitz. 3-man rush, 8 guys in coverage. The windows are small. Robert Griffin trying to hold up that receiver, but ball was thrown behind.
Cowboys were coming after a block. The punt by Rocca is down by Niles Paul. 41-yard punt. Cowboys have the lead and the football. It's marked at their own 13. Happy Thanksgiving from Arlington. These two teams have met 6 times on Thanksgiving. Some of the greatest players in the history of the NFL have gone head-to-head on Thanksgiving. The Cowboys lead the Redskins in Thanksgiving matchup, 6 wins against no losses. Starting at the 13, the play fake, and this one is batted into the air by Kerrigan. 2nd and 10 coming up.
The Washington Redskins defense, they lost Brian Arakpo earlier in the season, and the load then has gone to Ryan Kerrigan in terms of being the playmaker for that group. And he's had a nice season, had a good year last year as a rookie, and once again he's a steady player. And Jim Haslett has been shuffling a lot of guys opposite of him throughout this season, really trying to make up for the loss of Arakpo, one of the premier defensive players in all of football.
Yeah, the Skins sack leader the last 3 years. He made only 2 starts. On 2nd down, the handoff is to Felix Jones. 3rd down and long coming up. The NFC East a couple of weeks ago looked like it was going to be the Giants, and then everybody else was maybe fighting for a wild card spot. Now the division is wide open, and you have to include Washington in that division chase. Dallas coming off back-to-back wins. They're back to 500.
Well, this is a huge game within that division. This one here, and then the game between the Giants and the Green Bay Packers coming up on Sunday night. A lot can happen here over the next 3 days atop that leaderboard.
3rd down and 8.
Mike's 59. 180. 27.
Romo to the sideline, wide open. Harris for a 1st down. 17 yards to number 17 on 3rd and 8.
Now we talk about the poise of Robert Griffin in the pocket, and Tony Romo, he's just as good, and he slides to his right, and the timing on this throw, the ball was coming out of Romo's hands as Harris is going to the sidelines. Just an excellent job of Tony Romo knowing exactly what he had, the coverage. He holds the safeties, comes right to the outside of Dwayne Harris.
On 1st down and around to Bryant. Makes one guy miss, and Des Bryant running hard. Picks up 5.
I don't know that he really knows any other way. You know, I mean, whether it's on a reverse like that or after the catch. I mean, I don't know that I've seen a receiver take more hits after he gets the ball in his hands than Des Bryant. He refuses to go down. Rarely does the first guy get him to the ground, and he takes a lot of hits, really a lot of unnecessary hits. Not that that one was, but he will fight for every yard or foot that he can get.
2nd down and 5. As Troy said, coming off maybe his best game in the NFL last week against the Browns. And this will be another Cowboy false start.
False start. Number 68 offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Doug Free is the most penalized offensive lineman in the NFL. Got a big deal last year, $32 million over 4 years. And he's done a lot of that, head shaking, coming back to the huddle.
Well, Doug Free's been a human pinata all season long because of his play. He has struggled at the right tackle position, but he has not been alone. Tyron Smith, the 2nd-year player who's not playing today at left tackle, he struggled some as well. And that entire group had a tough go last week against the Cleveland Browns.
That's his 8th false start.
Kill.
Play clock was at 0.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
We heard the referee, Bill Levy, say 3rd down. It's still 2nd down.
So I think it's those penalties like those 2 we just saw that have been absolutely maddening for Cowboys fans, because it's occurred really throughout this season. We've talked about how heavily penalized they've been, and just an inordinate number of those penalties attributed to pre-snap penalties, and those are the hard ones to overcome.
Remember the hit Miles Austin took in the end zone. He's been on the sideline this series. 2nd down and 15, and the pass is too high for Witten. He had found a hole in that defense, but overthrown a bit. 3rd and 15 coming up.
Yeah, that's a ball that you really would have to stick right on Jason Witten, because if he had led him and even put it on him, that was going to be a big-time collision. But a ball that was high and one Jason Witten was just unable to get to.
That great relationship between Romo and Witten. They are zone breakers. That one too high. 3rd and 15. Four-man rush. Romo drops it underneath to Vickers, the fullback, and he won't come close. He takes it up just past the 35, a gain of 8. 4th down coming up. Hall and Gomes combined on the tackle, and a couple of pre-snap fouls really hurt the Cowboys on that possession.
Yeah, it did, and I think Jim Haslett is pretty pleased with that possession defensively. You know, I mean, the real key for them is not giving up the big play, something that Dallas has not had as much of this season compared to previous years. The Redskins given up a lot of big plays in the passing game, but that area has improved for them here in recent games.
Mormon hits a booming punch, and it drives Banks all the way back into the end zone. That was a mistake, and he won't make the 10. Philip Tanner downfield to make the play for the Dallas Cowboys. And that punt should have ended up in the end zone, and the Cowboys watch a 64-yard punt drive the Redskins deep into their own territory. Two first downs so far for the Redskins, starting at the 7, down by 3. And they hand it off to Morris. And the rookie was drafted in the 6th round and is having a big year, gets 4. Let's go back to Brandon Banks fielding that punt that drove him back near his own goal line.
Yeah, you know, usually what they'll tell you as a punt returner is to plant your heels at the 10-yard line, and if the ball's over your head, you just let it go. I mean, that was a big mistake by Brandon Banks fielding that and trying to take it out of the end zone. He should have just let it go and never even caught the ball to begin with.
Philip Tanner was downfield to make the tackle. Now 2nd and 6. Griffin keeps it, and he slides with a Washington first down. Some say it's a lost art, and some quarterbacks really struggle with a play fake, but Robert Griffin III had a lot of that in his days at Baylor, and he is so good at deceiving the defense.
Well, he's reading it too, so he's going to stick it in there. He's going to read the outside linebacker, Anthony Spencer. Spencer takes the dive man, and so he pulls it out and runs with it, and that is the biggest concern for Rob Ryan in visiting with him. You know, yes, his running ability and the way he throws the ball and all that, but that read option, it just scared the heck out of Rob Ryan when visiting with him just the other day.
Pass caught by Garcon. And Pierre, who missed 6 of the first 9 games with a torn ligament in his right foot near his toe, came back last week after having missed the previous 4. 3 pretty inconsequential catches last week, but that one good for 7. He also has a first down catch in this game. That's it through 1. 3-0 Cowboys. Back after this from your local Fox station. There are the stats. Bottom left, the one that matters. Top left, 3-0 Dallas. 2nd and 3 as we start the second quarter in Arlington, Texas. Morris gets it, has room to run. He's got a Redskins first down. Out across the 35 to the 37 for a Dallas injury report. Down to the field and Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, Miles Austin, known for those hamstring injuries, he has a new problem. Despite trying to stretch it out, riding the bike, Austin is now dealing with a right hip strain. He's just jogging off the field. We'll have more. They say he may return. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you. So one of the weapons. Guy really hasn't been available to the Cowboys in their recent Redskin games. A brief showing here today so far. 3 men in the backfield. Penalty flag flies, and it's a false start.
False start. Number 11, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Aldrick Robinson, who is a first-year player from right here in our neighborhood, Southern Methodist University, and this guy can flat out fly. I mean, last week he had an opportunity down the field, and it was about a 49-yard touchdown. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but when he gets out there, you can expect him to be running vertically down the field, and I guarantee you, whoever's covering him, if they don't have help, he's going to run right by him.
From Waxahachie, Texas, runs a 4.42 40. Where's number 11? Griffin keeps it. He's got him downfield. Robinson for the touchdown. No flags. And back in the Dallas area after starting for SMU. Aikman called it. RG3 threw it. And the Redskins are on top.
Apparently Danny McCray didn't check the scouting report. It was a short week. You see how he levels off, and as soon as he levels off, he was done. I mean, this guy, watching him in preparations for this game, Joe, I asked Mike Shanahan, how in the world did he slide to the 6th round? I mean, with that kind of speed, it's hard to find. And yet he slid to the 6th round, has been inconsistent with catching the ball. As strong of an arm as RG3 has, I don't think you can outthrow Aldrick Robinson.
And it's 7-3. So the young man who went to high school in Copperas Cove, Texas, throws it to the guy who's from Waxahachie, Texas. And 2 Texans hook up to make Rob Ryan upset on Thanksgiving. 7-3 Redskins. Talk about a bad 3 minutes for owner Jerry Jones. He watched his defense give up a 68-yard touchdown to Aldrick Robinson. Now it's raining.
At least it's not a leaky roof.
They've got the roof open, which they do only on beautiful days, and not a couple of beautiful moments for Dallas as Harris pushes the pile out near the 24. Robert Griffin III. Touchdown pass number 13. And the veteran Tony Romo watching. He has to go back to work down 4. It's a 7-3 game, Redskins. Aldrick Robinson, his 11th career catch. 3 of them have been for touchdowns. The latest, a 68-yarder from RG3. As Felix Jones does the most he can gains 2. It's raining in Arlington, and for more on the roof situation here at Cowboys Stadium, here's Pam.
Well, Joe, the decision to open or close the roof, it's made 3 hours before the game. Once the decision is made, Jerry Jones and the stadium operator do the decision making. They can't do anything about it. They say it's a competitive edge if they decide to close it one way or the other. Each team has to deal with the same conditions. Back to you.
All right, 2nd down and 8. Roof is open. The rain has let up. It's basically stopped after coming down right after the touchdown from the Redskins. Out to his right, that's Beasley, and Beasley makes the catch. This guy's interesting, Cole Beasley, and every team seems to be looking for one of those inside route runners. He's 5'8", 177. Romo likes him, and that one was good for just 3, but you can see how he can scoot around.
Yeah, what Jason Garrett called him, a poor man's Wes Welker, and a young player, and showed a lot of promise in the offseason. Then he got to training camp, and for whatever reasons, he decided he wasn't going to be a football player. Came home and talked to his mom and dad, but they talked him into returning to training camp, and Jason Garrett had a feeling that he was always going to be a part of this team. He was very impressive throughout the offseason.
3rd down and 5. What a catch! And Beasley's got a 1st down with a left-handed grab. That thing was too high and almost by him. 1st down, Dallas.
Well, they're making the Mustangs of Southern Methodist very proud in this ball game today. First, you got Aldrick Robinson, and then Cole Beasley comes back and makes 2 nice catches, a one-handed catch there to move the chains.
You think of guys in the league like Welker, like Julian Edelman, like Danny Amendola with the St. Louis Rams. Big completion for a 1st down. The drive is alive, and now timeout taken by Dallas. Before a 1st down play, rain on his hat. Trailing on the scoreboard. Jason Garrett will talk about it with Romo. 1st down when we come back. 68 yards of the 124 on the completion to Aldrick Robinson. 1st down, Dallas. Down by 4.
Yellow lady. Kill. Mustang. 180.
And on 1st down, Romo steps up, and what a play. Stepping in front to make the play defensively, Cedric Griffin, as he knocked it out of the waiting hands of Jason Witten. 2nd and 10.
It was really an excellent play by Cedric Griffin. You see, I mean, Jason Witten has got to step on him, and he lays out, and he's able to get his hand on it. And Romo did a nice job within the pocket because the Redskins were able to get pressure, but he stepped up nicely. Just an excellent play by Cedric Griffin.
Gary Cofield with a hit after Romo got rid of it. On 2nd down, the handoff is to Dunbar. Lance Dunbar from North Texas over the left side gets 7. Fox College football begins tomorrow as 25th ranked Washington battles Washington State. And then on Saturday, Baylor takes on Texas Tech, followed by 8th ranked Stanford trying to clinch the Pac-12 North as they battle 17th ranked UCLA. And a possible preview of the Pac-12 championship. And that's Art Briles with a nice moment with RG3.
And Coach Briles' daughter, Jancy, works for the Dallas Cowboys in the public relations department.
It's 3rd down and 3. Blitz coming. Pass caught. That's Bryant. 1st down. Ball's out. Pops into the arms of Gomes. And Dijon Gomes, after the turnover, takes it into Dallas territory. That's the one thing the Cowboys have been able to limit. Des Bryant puts it on the ground, and it takes a friendly hop on Thanksgiving into the gut of Dijon Gomes. Knocked out by Josh Wilson. Redskins have the football and a 4-point lead. Des Bryant with his 5th fumble of the season. 2nd time it's turned into a turnover. 21st time the Cowboys have turned it over. They're -10. The turnover ratio, and Alfred Morris with a nice run The rookie brought down by Carter. A gain of 6.
Well, you go back, yeah, you take a look at the job that Josh Wilson does, and he comes in with his helmet right on the football and just knocks it completely loose. There's not really a whole lot that Des Bryant could do about that one, but frustrating nevertheless. I mean, when the Cowboys, that tells the story on what has happened to them this season, the turnovers that have plagued them throughout this year.
2nd down and 4. Handoff is to Morris, and he picks up 2. 3rd down and 2 coming up. Bruce Carter again on the tackle.
This Alfred Morris is something else too. I mean, Robert Griffin gets all the attention when you talk about the Redskins. He's clearly the face of this team, but Alfred Morris is a 6th-round pick. He comes in. They lose 2 of their top 3 rushers from last year, in Tim Hightower and Roy Halou. But Alfred Morris has been another one of those great finds by Mike Shanahan, and he's going to turn him into a 1,000-yard rusher as well. Might even get it here in this game.
He's always been able to find running backs late in drafts. Nobody better than Terrell Davis. 3rd down and 2. Pass is caught. Santana Moss. And he's got a Washington 1st down. He doesn't have a ton of catches, but the ones he's had, the 12-year veteran, they've been big. That for 9 and a 1st down.
Boy, he's able to fit that in. Morris Claiborne, he read it beautifully, and he tries to come off of his guy and make a play. Had Robert Griffin had led Moss at all, that ball could have been intercepted, but he fits it into a tight window. I mean, he throws with a great deal of confidence for a guy that can do so many other things so well.
Here is Morris, right side. Alfred Morris. And now this good running game of the Redskins, which runs at 51% of the time. That's the 2nd highest ratio in the NFL, 2nd to Seattle. They're at over 5.2 yards per rush, 3rd best in team history. At 165 rush yards a game, RG3 has a lot to do with that. They're the #2 running offense in the NFL.
Yeah, a lot of times, you know, you think of some of the teams Michael Vick has been on, the quarterback really inflates what those numbers are, and certainly Robert Griffin's a big reason why they run the ball so well. But even without his numbers, this is a good running offensive football team.
2nd and 3, pass caught. That's Garcon. And Pierre Garcon is spun down at the 6. And he's becoming more and more of a weapon as he was early for RG3.
Here's what the play action does to the linebackers. So to stop it, you've got to hit it right now, and then it opens up a big window for the quarterback. I mean, you've got a receiver in Garcon getting into that open void and no underneath coverage. Very difficult then for corner to be able to make a play on it. When you run the ball the way that the Redskins do, the play action becomes huge, and it has in this ball game again.
19-yard completion. 1st and goal from the 6. Griffin keeps it, and the pass is broken up, and a flag. Pass intended for Hankerson with Brandon Carr on him, and they threw a flag.
Pass interference, number 39, defense in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. 1st down.
You can see where Hankerson was lined up. I mean, because he cuts his split, he gives himself a 2-way break. Brandon Carr is trying to play him head up, but as soon as Hankerson gets to the inside, he's got to put contact on him to be able to make a play on that ball, and he got there too soon.
This Redskins team has 12 rushing touchdowns on the year. Tied for the 2nd most in the NFL. Here is Morris. That makes it 13. Touchdown number 6 for Alfred Morris. And the 1-yard touchdown after the turnover by Des Bryant. Opens up the lead with the extra point to come.
Well, Darrell Young, he kicks out. They bring the right guard on a pull, and you get Morris in behind him. There's no stopping him.
This to make it 14-3. Kai Forbath. And so the Redskins capitalize on the turnover. They've now scored touchdowns on consecutive drives, and here on the road on Thanksgiving, lead by 11. There are a lot of teams watching this game, obviously around the league on this Thanksgiving, and teams in the NFC East that are seeing the Redskins coming off a pretty easy win over Philadelphia. That's one thing. Then coming into Arlington on Thanksgiving, falling behind, but now back-to-back touchdowns as Harris dives forward to the 16. Take a quick break. Come back. Number 9 back under center when we return. He's got some work to do.
Hey Cam, thanks a lot for coming to school today.
No problem, Nate.
I promise to exercise and eat right.
Don't forget 60 minutes of play a day, right?
And I'll grow up to be big and strong like you.
Absolutely.
And play in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
And be drafted #1.
Maybe.
Become the starting quarterback of the Panthers.
Okay.
You can be my backup.
Excuse me?
And make Panthers fans forget about you. And become your mom's favorite player.
Whoa.
Starting at the 16. Romo finds Felix Jones out of the backfield, and Felix is wrestled to the ground by Kerrigan. A gain of 4.
So far, though, Joe, we came into this game talking about the offensive line for the Cowboys and the adjustments that they've had to make. Left tackle Jeremy Parnell making his first start in the NFL. He's held up well for the most part. Not a lot of pressure on Tony Romo.
Parnell, a former college basketball player at Ole Miss, actually played 4 years of basketball, 1 year of football. Picked up off the Saints practice squad. Now here he is trying to protect the blind side of Romo. 2nd and 6. Here's Jones again. They run toward Parnell's side. And he gets a yard. Harry Riley, the linebacker, in to make the tackle. 3rd down coming up for Dallas.
Well, DeMarco Murray, as we said, I mean, he's missing his 6th straight game, and the last game that he played in was really about the last time the Cowboys had been able to do anything on the ground. That was against the Baltimore Ravens, and it has made it pretty tough sledding for this offense. They get a pretty good gain there on 1st down on the screen pass. They come back trying to run it, and just nothing there.
He hasn't played in a month, and he's still the leading rusher coming in for the Cowboys. 3rd down and 5. Romo. That's Beasley trying for another one-handed catch. Can't make it. It's 3 and out. And this Redskins defense, which was so good last week against Philly, they allowed no touchdowns, had 3 takeaways, and racked up 4 sacks. Jim Haslett, you mentioned it to him. He's got his guys. They may not be the best group, and they miss Arakpo, and they miss Carricker, but they have played very hard.
They play hard. I mean, you watch the tape, and you see it every week. And Jim Haslett was very confident when we visited with him, Joe. He had a good feeling coming in this game that his defense was going to play good ball, and they sure have so far.
Fair catch by Banks, the 28. This year in more than 70,000 schools at 1,700 events, and through the creation of youth fitness zones across the country, NFL Play 60 has improved the health of millions of American children through the power of play. Visit NFLrush.com to learn how NFL Play 60 could come to your community.
That's a great program, too. Anybody who has young children know how important it is for these kids to get out and be active and take part in sports. And the fact that the NFL has gotten behind this effort, and so many NFL players have. Tip my hat to all of them.
Somewhere Jordan and Allie Aikman are smiling, listening to Dad talk about getting out of the house. They're looking at each other like, yep, I feel your pain, sister. Griffin steps up, and he'll go down. Eventually, Spencer. And it took 3 Cowboys to bring him to the ground.
It reminded me of Mark Bavaro for the New York Giants when they were trying to get him to the ground. Only you've got a quarterback, and immediately, I mean, he gets sandwiched in the back, and then everybody rallies behind him offensively. You see Corey Lichtensteiger. They're going to move the pile, and what looked like was going to be a pretty significant loss, he just loses 1 yard.
Yeah, it was going to be a 7 or 8 yard loss. Instead, it's a loss of 1. 2nd and 11. See what the Dallas defense can do. Morris eventually dragged down by Carter. A gain of 7, so it makes it more of a manageable 3rd down for this Redskins offense, up by 11 under 4.5 to go.
Well, how nice was that for Washington? I mean, on the earlier possession by Dallas, they try to run it on second down. They don't get any gain. Second and 11, hand it to Alfred Morris, and he makes this now a very manageable 3rd and 4.
Timeout taken defensively by Dallas. They have only one left. And so the Cowboys defensively will talk it over, as we will welcome you inside our broadcast booth as we scramble to get ready after that unexpected defensive timeout. I'm Joe, that's Troy, and I don't know how you can watch the first half of this game on Thanksgiving and not be thoroughly impressed with what Robert Griffin III can do, and really what this entire Redskins defense has done on the road so far.
No, they've done a really nice job, and I think when you look at this game coming in, you know, the Cowboys at home last week, you know, did not obviously play their best football, but the way that the Redskins played in their win against the Philadelphia Eagles, what I think was their best game as a team all season long. So they came into this game even with a short week very confident, and it has showed here in this first half.
So now 3rd down and 4, 3:51 to go in the first half. Both these teams desperate for a win. Out of the shotgun, Griffin finds Banks. Banks finds a first down. Pretty much left alone, a gain of 8 on 3rd down and 4, and a conversion for RG3 on 3rd down.
Yeah, now the Redskins, you know, a down, as I said, that just has not been good for them throughout this season, even though they were much improved on Sunday against the Eagles. They're doing a nice job of converting on 3rd down, and Dallas, who's been very dominant on that down, has not been quite as stifling as what we're accustomed to seeing from them.
Cowboys showing blitz. They're coming. Pass caught. And what a play out on the edge by the rookie Claiborne. He dumped Josh Morgan to the ground, a loss of 3. And there was a lot of pressure in the face of Robert Griffin III.
Well, they're hoping that they're going to be able to block Morris Claiborne. But he reads it so quickly that Darrell Young is not able to then get a block on him. Had he have been able to, that could have been a pretty nice gain. But Morris Claiborne, who has struggled a little bit here in recent weeks, reads it beautifully and makes a nice tackle.
The Redskins traded with the Rams for the right to draft Robert Griffin III, and then the Cowboys traded with the Rams to be able to draft Morris Claiborne in this past April's NFL draft. Play action. Griffin over the middle. He's got Garçon, and Pierre Garçon has got room to go. Garçon, touchdown. No flags. Until now. With shoving after the play, Santana Moss was involved with Brandon Carr. Mike Jenkins was down there as well. But it's a 59-yard touchdown to Pierre Garçon.
Well, Bruce Carter's the linebacker. He reads run initially, and so he hits it, but then he gets underneath this route, and where Robert Griffin should have thrown it was really on the other side of Bruce Carter, but he threw it behind him, and that's just a great catch by Pierre Garçon. You're going to see where this ball was thrown. If he doesn't get his hands on it, it's probably intercepted by the safety who was back there waiting. And that, to me, doesn't look like a guy who's got a bad toe.
That was a shove by Jenkins at the end of it. That's why Santana Moss got into it with Jenkins. The touchdown stands, and we'll get the call. It's against Jenkins. It'll be assessed on the kickoff.
Well, Brandon Carr was playing safety, and he thought he was going to have an easy interception. Just an excellent catch by Pierre Garçon.
And now it's 21-3 with 2:14 to go in the first half here in Arlington, Texas. And this Redskins offense riding big plays for the second consecutive week. Gets a 59-yarder to Garçon.
Well, you talk about it, you know, Pierre Garçon comes back last week. He has the 3 catches. He's limited some because of the injury. He's missed most of the season. You go back to the season opener, Joe, against the New Orleans Saints. and he takes a ball 88 yards for a touchdown, and he really kind of whetted everybody's appetite as to what he was going to be able to do after they picked him up this offseason. And then for the most part, he's been put on the shelf. And I thought he moved pretty well, a lot better than anticipated on Sunday. But watching him here today, certainly on that route, to be able to make a play and then outrun everybody and get that in for the end zone or get that in for the touchdown, that's what the Redskins were hoping to have from him all season long.
Former weapon for Peyton Manning in Indianapolis, got a 5-year, $42.5 million deal. And he's had a limited impact because of injury. That's a big one. Now, we've heaped the praise on Washington. This Dallas defense at times looks like one of the most overrated groups in the National Football League, and they are getting taken apart by a rookie here today.
You know, they do a lot of things really well, and then they just have some lapses. You know, I mean, we saw the deep ball that Aldrick Robinson has behind Danny McCray, not expecting that type of play. They have those types of lapses, but you know, after the first couple of possessions by this Redskins offense, they really have outplayed the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas will start at the 20 as Forbath drills it out of the back of the end zone, kicking off from the 50. For more on Pierre Garçon, let's go down to the field and Aaron Andrews.
Hey, Joe, just to talk a little bit about how effective he was going to be in this game. I actually spoke with him as he was warming up because there was so much concern about this turf and how he'd be able to move on it. And he said, look, I don't even care if I'm 30%. I just need to get out there and be a spark for this offense and help them out. So he kind of had it in his mind. He didn't care where he was percentage-wise. He was getting out there.
Well, he gets a 59-yard touchdown to open it up to an 18-point game. And the Cowboys, who have won back-to-back weeks, but doing it against Philadelphia and Cleveland. And it took overtime at home to beat Cleveland. There's a play made by Griffin on Beasley. A big hit, a gain of just 4, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning here in Texas. Griffin has a quarterback rating of 156.2. He's back in Texas, smiling and happy, up by 18. 2 minutes left in the half. Kenny Chesney's going to try and brighten the mood at halftime around here. So's Tony Romo right now with his team down by 18. 2 minutes left in the half. Romo completes to Witten, and Witten's got enough for a first down.
Joe, the one thing that we have seen from Tony Romo over the years is even when he's faced with a big deficit, more times than not, he at least puts his team back in a position to win the game. Not that they've always won those games. We certainly know that they haven't, but he usually gets them at least back into it.
It's Witten time as he made the catch for a first down, and now on first down is good for 7. Brought to the ground by London Fletcher as he was on the previous play.
It's a pretty big possession for the Dallas Cowboys, and just being able to get something positive going, any kind of points, if they're able to get it here before the end of the first half.
Second down and 3. Extra men on the rush. Pass caught by Beasley. And Cole Beasley has his momentum stopped at the 46. A first down, a gain of 9. We've seen a turnover by Des Bryant. It led to 7 points directly. And we've seen 3 straight touchdown possessions for the Redskins, up by 18. On first down, Romo flips it for Harris. Incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 44 seconds remaining in the half. Fox tonight, it's all new. The X Factor has 10 thankful acts now, but 2 will be sent home. Then suit up for superheroes and super shockers on Super Glee. All new Thanksgiving offerings tonight on Fox.
How many times have we seen the Cowboys struggle offensively to really get any type of consistency, only to then have their backs against the wall and go into a no-huddle situation and see Tony Romo take them right down the field. They're hoping for that here.
It seems to be when he is at his best. Second down and 10. Romo is picked off by D'Angelo Hall. Hall is working his way deeper into Dallas territory. Gets drilled by Harris. But he takes it back to the Washington 33. A 27-yard return Beasley the intended target, and Romo throws his 14th pick of the season.
Well, Cole Beasley, he's in the slot, and you're going to see the contact that is made. D'Angelo Hall has a hold of him. Beasley thought he was going to get a flag, and probably should have. You know, there was definitely contact that was made trying to keep him from getting to the middle of the field, and because of that, there's just no throwing angle for Romo to try to fit that ball in. He was anticipating that Beasley would be able to win on the route and create separation, but because of the grab, he was unable to do so.
He hadn't thrown one for 3 full games. Now he throws a pick. Griffin is ripped to the ground. The Redskins have 3 timeouts. Now they have 2 as they'll spend one here. Tyrone Crawford made the play for Dallas. That for D'Angelo Hall, interception number 4. He had one last week against the Eagles. Coming up, the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights. A thriller in Detroit in overtime. A win by the Houston Texans, and we'll have a halftime performance by our buddy Kenny Chesney, who is getting ready to come out here and dazzle the folks in Arlington, Texas, from Tennessee originally. So that'll be good at the half. What'll the score be? It's 21-3. Time for the Redskins to make it bigger than that. Griffin throws, and it's caught by Morgan. Jenkins trying to make a play on the ball. It somehow got by Jenkins, and Josh Morgan has got a first down with a gain of 10.
That's great. I don't know if that's where he was purposely trying to throw it, but it was great ball position because he was well covered. And the only chance to complete this pass was to put it on his back hip, which is exactly where he puts it. Michael Jenkins has it covered. I'm sure he's as shocked as anybody that they were able to complete this pass. Heavy duress in the pocket, and he throws a perfect ball. And so now we're talking about the Cowboys trying to come away with something positive before the end of this first half. You get the interception, the quick change of possession, and now the Washington Redskins are looking to build their lead, which would be huge for them going into the half.
I'll tell you what, they are trying to get to 5 and 6. Then they have a date with first place New York. They have an opportunity here that's out in front of them. It has to start with a win here today over Dallas, and they're doing their part through the first half. Handoff is to Morris, and Morris is down to the 6. Timeout is taken by Mike Shanahan. Now 10 seconds remain, and that's the final timeout. We'll see how aggressive they want to be with a rookie. They'll have time to take a shot into the end zone.
Well, Will Montgomery right here in the middle at center. He blocking really well all across the board, but he does a combination block, works to his left, and then he's able to get to the linebacker level, which just gives Alfred Morris a great opportunity on a quick hitter straight up the seam in a big game.
16 yards for Alfred Morris. And Mike Shanahan, who's a real smart man, his team had lost 3 in a row, and I think he would tell you he misspoke when he said we're now going to play and see who's going to be on this roster next year. His team really backed him. So that's not what was intended, that we're giving up on this season, and they are anything but dead as they play here on Thanksgiving.
Well, they're still trying to win back-to-back games for the first time.
First down and goal, a shot into the end zone. The pass is caught. Touchdown, Santana Moss.
Yeah, we want to.
A 6-yard touchdown throw to Santana Moss, and I don't know how much better Robert Griffin III could be in this half with where he's placed these throws to his receivers.
That was a perfectly thrown ball, and you see that Santana Moss is able to adjust, makes a play on it. Brandon Carr is not looking. He's not able to locate the ball. The ball thrown obviously behind him. But for Santana Moss to make the catch and get his feet in bounds, that's big time right there before the end of this half.
A guy who was born in Japan, 2 military parents, bounced around in his childhood, looked clearly like Moss got both feet in bounds. And he did for the touchdown. He's thrown 3 touchdowns today. RG3. We're in a booth review. We'll get the call when we come back. We'll get the call right now from Bill Levy as to whether the touchdown was good.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
But RG3 has completed 9 straight passes. He's thrown for 3 touchdowns to 3 different receivers. And this is a pounding here in the first half in Texas.
There's been some spectacular catches made out there too.
Absolutely. Really every one of them. From Robinson catching up to that deep ball, the one to Garcon, and the latest to Santana Moss, who came in with only 25 catches, but now has 7 touchdown catches on the season, and this the 28 points in the second quarter, the most for the Redskins since '99. And here is how they have transpired. Robert Griffin III found Aldrick Robinson for 68. And then he found Garcon and made a great catch, adjusting for 59. And then here before half, a 6-yarder to Santana Moss.
Well, Joe, you had said that Robert Griffin III coming back to his home state from Copper's Cove, about a 2-hour drive here from Dallas, and asked him how many tickets he had to buy, and he said he was only buying 20. He certainly could have bought more, but he said he had to draw the line somewhere. Trent Williams, on the other hand, from Longview, Texas, their starting left tackle, bought 40. I think right about now, Robert Griffin's wishing he'd let a few more people in the door.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to witness this? As I said, I think what would impress you, and you and I really haven't talked about it, the maturity level that he shows, not just on the field, but off the field, the things he says, the way he's become a leader, and his teammates voted him a captain during the bye week. He was perfect quarterback rating against Philadelphia, and he is perfect quarterback rating here 1/2 of play on the road on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys.
He's a confident young man, there's no doubt, and it's amazing in talking with him, as you said. I mean, his play is beyond his years, but he expects to do the things that he has done, and he has been a great leader, as you said, for this team. And as Aaron Andrews reported coming into the game, he has elevated the play of those around him.
And this Cowboy team is booed on their way off the field. The most quoted owner in sports maybe ever, Jerry Jones, when his Cowboys were down 13-0 last week at home to Cleveland, said he was very impressed with the adjustments Jason Garrett and Rob Ryan made coming into the second half. They've got their work cut out for them. These halftime coming up after this from your local Fox station. From all of us at Fox Sports to all of you, a happy Thanksgiving with the sun going down here in Texas. 28-3 is the score after a half of play. Redskins having fun at the Cowboys' expense. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Video of the guys and gals that drive the trucks to the venues, to those who set it up, to those who provide the stats and the graphics, the shots that are provided on the sideline and around stadiums. Thankful for all they do for us week after week. And now Harris will let it go out of the back of the end zone, and the Cowboys down in this game by a score of 28-3. We'll start at the 20. Let's go down to the field and Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, as his team was getting booed off the field, Jason Garrett was a man with heavy burdens and a lot of cliches. I asked, how do you get back into this thing? He said, we've got to take it one at a time, take one play at a time. We cannot allow ourselves to get beaten by those big plays. Injury-wise, Miles Austin is out with a hip injury. Their nickel cornerback, Orlando Skandrick, has a left broken hand. Joe?
All right. So he is out for the rest of the day. And starting at the 20, this Cowboy offense, which got 3 early points, nothing the rest of the half. This one is thrown away with Griffin coming on a blitz. And for the other sideline, a happy sideline on Washington's side down to Aaron Andrews.
A very happy sideline. We're going to talk a little bit about RG3. Before the half, you and Troy were mentioning about the only 20 tickets here. for RG3, for his family and friends. Well, as we all discussed with him earlier this week, he didn't really grow up a Dallas Cowboys fan. In fact, he grew up a Denver Broncos fan. And the biggest reason why, because of John Elway. Now, he does have a little conversation with a lot of his friends saying, hey guys, can you just cheer for me today? You think you could do that maybe, huh, can you?
Well, they've seen a lot to cheer from RG3. Really not much from Dallas. Here's Beasley. We've seen a lot of him. He's forced out at the 40. So growing up in Texas, RG3 grew up a Denver Bronco John Elway fan. How does that make you feel? You were a quarterback back then.
Heck, I was a big Elway fan myself. And what's interesting is for the first time when he met Mike Shanahan, he started rattling off all the players that were a part of those great Denver Bronco teams. And Mike Shanahan was really impressed that he knew so much about those teams in Denver.
Here's Witten, who just lays down after the catch, tapped down by Gomes, a gain of 6. Shanahan, who won back-to-back titles with the Broncos in '97 and '98. And then after being let go in Denver, was with the Broncos from '95 to 2008, picked up here with the Redskins in 2010. Things are looking up. Here's Harris. And here come the Cowboys trying to make this second half relevant as Harris takes it down inside the 40, good for 14 yards.
Yeah, you know, I think if you're the Washington Redskins, that first half went as well as they could have hoped for. And the message at halftime, I'm sure, by Jim Haslett was, hey, we've got to continue to do what we do and not give up the big play. The biggest play in the first half for the Dallas Cowboys, just a 17-yard reception by Dwayne Harris.
Romo with time, throws behind Des Bryant, who was coming across the middle. We haven't seen Bryant do anything since he made the catch for a first down and fumbled. It's 2nd and 10.
No, and I think that injury to Miles Austin is big because, I mean, certainly Des Bryant then is going to get a lot of the attention. Jason Witten, as we talked about, he's going to get some catches as well. They're hoping not to give up anything big down the field, but you kind of get the feeling that if they're going to get back into it, the guys that are going to have to make the plays for them are going to be Cole Beasley and Dwayne Harris.
Cole Beasley just 5'8", 177. That may be generous. Out of the backfield, nice catch. Felix Jones, and he's still going. Down the sideline and knocked out near the 5. A big play from Felix Jones right when Dallas needed it. Trying to make a statement with their first possession here. In the second half, they marked him out at the 6.
Well, Romo has to come underneath, and you see as Felix Jones almost is not even able to make the completion, but the Redskins had 2 opportunities right away to make a play and bring Felix Jones to the ground, and they failed to do so.
33-yard catch and run, longest catch for Jones this season. Longest play for the Cowboys today. 1st and goal. This one is caught, but out there is Riley. Dunbar out of the backfield, and had Riley been looking for the football, he may have taken that the length of the field.
It was good coverage. I mean, he was there waiting, but you're right. I mean, had Perry Riley, if he had turned around and saw the ball coming, I think he is. I think it's a pretty easy interception for him and a house call.
2nd and goal. It's left tackle Nate Livings.
Full start. Number 71 offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That is the 3rd false start here at home.
Well, it's the same thing that happened on their first possession when they got down inside the red zone and had to settle for their only 3 points of the game, is what just happens here. They get down inside the 20, and then they have a pre-snap false start.
They got it to the 6.
Monday, 6:14.
Now it's 2nd and goal from the 15.
180.
Three receivers to the right. That's Beasley, and the throw out of his reach. And in what is a 25-point game, this is a Dallas offense that's set up with 1st and goal from the 6 after the big play by Felix Jones. And barring a big one here from the 15, they're staring at a 3-point try. 3rd down and goal. On third down, Romo buying a ton of time. End zone incomplete. He had Beasley in the back of the end zone. Maybe couldn't see him, and it's now 4th and goal.
Well, you've got to sustain coverage for a long period of time when you're playing against Tony Romo because of the ability that he has to keep this play alive. That clock goes off as a defensive player, and you're thinking, okay, this play's got to be over, the ball's got to be out, but they hang with it. And even though they gave up a lot of yards on that drive, that's an excellent job defensively, not giving up a touchdown.
Instead, it's 3 points. You could see Beasley stop in the back of the end zone. Romo thought he was going to continue. Hall and Bryant get into it. It's the Cowboys and Redskins. It's a 22-point game. The Redskins defense has held Dallas to field goals on both their trips inside the red zone. Bailey just hit from 33 at 28-6. It's Banks from the end zone. Can't make the 15, wrapped up at the 13. Moments ago on that last possession down the sideline, we saw at the end of it Des Bryant, D'Angelo Hall get into it. Hall came in low on trying to get through Bryant, who was blocking for Felix Jones, and they almost started swinging at each other, and then later they had a nicer moment on this Thanksgiving as the Redskins have it at their own 13.
I think Des Bryant was looking around to see if any officials were nearby to see if he could take a shot. But I'll tell you, you can say a lot of things about D'Angelo Hall, and a lot of people do. But one thing he will definitely do is stick his head in there and make a tackle. He's 3rd on the team in total tackles this year.
Big sack. Jason Hatcher. And he form tackles RG3 back inside the 3 at the. See where they mark it. They're going to mark him with forward progress at the 5, but that's a different kind of sack. That was a thunderous hit.
Well, it's the same game that they ran there in the first half, and the same result. They run DeMarcus Ware underneath. Might have even been Anthony Spencer to that side, but the outside linebacker, he comes underneath. Jason Hatcher comes around on the outside, and the Redskins missed it in the first half, and they missed it again here.
That's the 4th Cowboys sack. This pass caught by Paulson, the tight end. And Logan Paulson gets 7. Ernie Sims is there to make the stop. So now the focus for Dallas, as we've focused a lot on Griffin, is on the defense. And Rob Ryan, who went through a rough week last weekend after having to really survive to get through the Cleveland Browns, has watched his defense get shredded by a rookie. It's 3rd down and 11.
Just too many big plays, Joe. I mean, they've given up 2 50-yard receptions in the first half.
3rd down here. Griffin completes. Morgan, bad tackle, and it depends on the spot. Morgan survived the first hit. It was Jenkins who didn't wrap up, and with the second effort in what could have been a big 3rd down stop, because there were no arms involved on that tackle by Jenkins, it looked like Morgan may have picked up the 1st down.
Well, the way that where they spotted it anyway, it sure looks like they did. I don't know what that is. I mean, he's not the only one in this league that does it. I mean, the idea of using your arms on a tackle is non-existent, and Mike Jenkins comes in and just tries to torpedo him with his body, and there's no chance. And he knows that he should have been able to make that play, and had he have made it, then the Redskins would be punting right now.
He's been bothered by a bad back, but he didn't extend his arms at all. And with that effort, and I think the crowd is reacting to where the ball was spotted, and Jason Garrett's going to throw a challenge flag.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that someone wasn't communicating to Robert Griffin about getting to the line and getting that ball snapped.
Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator, and Garrett can see it on that gigantic scoreboard.
Challenging the ruin of the forward progress spot.
Rob Ryan told Garrett, his head coach, to throw the flag. Crowd reacted. They got a good look at it on a 60-yard long video screen here in Arlington. We'll get the call when we come back. Here comes the call, bad tackle or not.
After reviewing the play, the runner did not reach the 23-yard line. It's going to be 4th down. The ball will be spotted at the 22 3/4. Dallas will not be charged a timeout.
It's going to say bad tackle or not on the part of Jenkins. The wrap-up happened shy of the 23, and so a punt is coming from Washington, and indeed Rob Ryan's defense gets a stop on 3rd down.
Absolutely, that's what they needed to do. They were able to back the Redskins up and force a punt.
Garrett is now 8 for 11 in challenges as a head coach of the Cowboys. 3 for 3 this year in his 2nd full year. A record of 18 and 16 overall, and now a false start.
False start, number 84 offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's Niles Paul, former wide receiver, has been turned into a tight end by Mike Shanahan, and you can feel the momentum start to shift. Although the Cowboys came up with only 3 instead of a touchdown when they had 1st and goal from the 6 last time they had it. Down by 22. Rocket hits a booming punt. Harris from about the 25. Breaks 1 tackle. Doing all he can. Pretty good return by Dwayne Harris. Gets 8 on the return. Keenan Robinson on the tackle. Cowboys have it. Down 22 at home to the Redskins. It is a then and now look at Dealey Plaza. Today, the 49th anniversary of the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Pictures of what Dealey Plaza looked like back in 1963 and now. The building now houses the 6th floor museum at Dealey Plaza, which chronicles the assassination and the legacy of President John F. Kennedy. We continue on in Arlington, Texas. It's a 22-point game. There's more about that clearly on many levels, and one of the levels deals with the NFL and the late great Commissioner Pete Rozelle.
56 is Mike. 56.
On 1st down, pass caught by Witten, and Witten is wrapped up by Medee Williams, a gain of 4. Talking to our editorial consultant Steve Horney reminds us that President Kennedy was assassinated on a Friday. Pete Rozelle, then the NFL commissioner, consulted with White House Press Secretary Pierre Salinger, who he had known since their student days at the University of San Francisco. 2nd down. Romo down the middle and incomplete for Witten. And just to finish the story before a 3rd down, Salinger felt that the league should play that weekend because he believed it would help restore the country to normalcy. Rozelle took Salinger's advice. Salinger never regretted his position, but Pete Rozelle came to believe it was the biggest mistake of his tenure as commissioner of the NFL. The AFL did cancel games on that Sunday. The NFL did not. It's 3rd down and 6. 5-man on the rush, and down goes Romo back inside the 30. Stephen Bowen, a former Dallas Cowboy, is in there on the sack, and Romo is slow to get up. The first sack of the day for the Redskins defense comes on 3rd down.
Derek Dockery, the right guard, you're going to see him as he does not handle the twist very well. 2 guys go with Cofield, and it turns Bowen completely loose in the middle on Tony Romo.
So a Mormon to punt, and a good job by this Washington defense, which has playing well the last couple of weeks. Banks from inside the 15. Trying to string it out to his left. He gets to the 20. That's it. So the Redskins have it, the ball, and a 22-point lead. 6-yard return by Banks. Look at Dealey Plaza back in 1963. Key spot in American history. Talked to Robert Griffin III yesterday about playing on Thanksgiving. He said, I've got a lot to be thankful for. And then he said, as Americans, we all do. Grew up in a military family. This guy just gets it. Taking over at the 20 on first down. Up by 22 on the road. Trying to get to 5 and 6 on the year. Here's Morris. And the rookie is out to the 25, gain 5. Brent on the tackle.
Well, he has really run the ball well, and I know that that was a big challenge coming into this ball game, because as Mike Shanahan said, he said this is the most talented defense that we'll face all year, and what he specifically was talking about was the front seven, and yet the Redskins offensive line has done an excellent job throughout this game of giving Alfred Morris some holes to run, and then Alfred Morris has done a great job of finishing those runs.
Morris averaging over 5 yards a carry. He gets it here. Does not get 5 yards here, and it'll bring up third down and short. The Washington Redskins have won only once on Thanksgiving, and that was back in 1973, and they're 0-6 against the Dallas Cowboys overall. Tony Romo specifically 5-0 on Thanksgiving. But his team was taken into overtime last weekend here at home against the Browns, and they came out defensively lethargic, and the Redskins ran right by him in the first half. 3rd and 3. Pass is caught by Paulson, and Logan Paulson steps out of bounds with a Redskins first down. Got hit by Brandon Carr, but he had enough for a first down. Redskins.
It's fortunate for the Cowboys that he did go out of bounds. Michael Jenkins, who was there to finish the play off, he was signaling that he did not pick up the first down, thinking that he was going to go to the ground with Brandon Carr, and had he not have stepped out, there was nobody there.
Jenkins, a former Pro Bowl player back in '09, an unrestricted free agent to be. He used to be the Cowboys' best. Now they have Claiborne and Carr. From the 31, Griffin keeps it. Finds a receiver, but a rare bad throw from RG3 to Hankerson. And Griffin slaps his hands together. He had his man and threw it into the ground.
Yeah, that's the worst pass we've seen of him today. I mean, we've seen some that have been behind, certainly the one to Pierre Garçon that he caught. But he is obviously thrown the ball very well. Of course, coming off the big game last week, as you said, Joe, earlier against the Eagles, where he had just one incompletion. That one should not have been incomplete.
He only has 4. He's 14 of 18 and had completed 12 straight prior to that. Handoff is to Morris, who hits the hole hard. You know, they talk so much about the rookie wall for Robert Griffin III. About the rookie wall for this guy, Alfred Morris, who's been good from the start. He started the afternoon 5th in the league in rushing.
Well, not only has he not hit the rookie wall, but they're putting more on his plate. You know, I mean, last week he was primarily the third down back as well, so he got most of those snaps throughout that game, and he's gotten obviously a bulk of them here in this one also.
3rd down and 7. From out of the shotgun, pressure. Griffin throws. Moss shoved out of bounds, no catch. Moss made the grab, but he was out of bounds when he completed the catch. As we take another look, forced out by Carr. And clearly that left foot out of bounds.
Bruce Carter came in and got a hit on Robert Griffin at the end of that play, but that was a dart that he threw. I mean, on the run, and he gave Moss a chance. It was a little closer even than what I thought it was.
Rocca hits it. Close to hitting that big scoreboard, and Harris from about the 15 crosses the 20. That's it. Cowboys have it, down 22. 5:23 left in the 3rd quarter, getting late. Jason Witten in this Dallas offense. Tony Romo is going to stay undefeated on Thanksgiving. He has got to start chewing up some yardage and doing it quickly. Down by 22 and starting this drive at the 21. Trying to set up a wide receiver screen for Dez Bryant, and not much. He gains 4 out to the 25. Call ** NFL to download NFL Mobile now and get coverage of every NFL game. And a big weekend coming up around the NFL as the Cowboys hurry up, which they've got to do, including a big one in the NFC here on Fox with the 49ers at the very much alive New Orleans Saints.
180. 27.
Pass caught by Witten. Witten is forced out right at the marker by Gomes. And they're going to give Witten a first down.
We talked about the struggles that right tackle Doug Free has had coming into this game, but he's done a pretty good job in this game. We haven't talked a lot about him. Jeremy Parnell, he gives up a little bit of pressure there.
That didn't work. Cowboys tried to catch the Redskins changing defensively and off guard and just flopping forward. They may have thought it was 3rd and 1. They gave Witten enough for the first down on that previous catch, so they just wasted it down.
Well, that's exactly what happened. You see Jason Garrett there on the sidelines trying to get the official to let him know what down it was. Clearly, they thought it was 3rd and short, and that's why they ran the sneak.
Now 2nd down and 8. Pass is short of Des Bryant, and again, Jason Garrett sees his quarterback, Tony Romo, have to peel himself off the turf. It's 3rd and 8.
Well, some of the twists inside that we've shown have given them a little bit of problems. That time Nate Livings, he doesn't come off, and they're able to get pressure right into the face. Romo gets it out sooner than he had liked. The Redskins had thought they'd be able to get a little bit more pressure on him than they have, even though we saw him go down there and earlier with the 1 sack, but not nearly as much pressure certainly from what the Cowboys saw on Sunday from the Cleveland Browns.
There's Des Bryant again. Another false start.
False start. Number 88, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's incredible. This is the 2nd most penalized team in the league, the Dallas Cowboys, and we've done plenty of home games where here at home, pre-snap penalties for delay of game, false start. We've seen 4 today on false starts when they just can't afford it.
There's nothing more frustrating for a quarterback than having those types of penalties. I mean, he's getting a look at the defense. He was getting ready to reposition Jason Witten, and there's no excuse for Des Bryant not watching the ball.
On 3rd down, pass to Witten. They hook up again, and Jason Witten has got a first down, brought down by Alexander. And a 15-yard completion from Romo. When he needs yards, he looks for number 82.
Well, he does, and Lorenzo Alexander is the guy who's trying to stay with them, and obviously that's a mismatch, and it favors the Dallas Cowboys. And for 3rd and long, that's a pretty key pickup there for the Cowboys to keep this drive alive.
You see London Fletcher back on the field for the Redskins. They were working on his quad earlier. Beasley can't hang on. Pass is incomplete. 2nd down and 10 with the clock stopped at 3:37 left in this 3rd quarter.
Just not a lot of energy from the Cowboys offensively. I mean, you just don't know how many more possessions they're going to have, and they've got to score 3 touchdowns, and they're not getting plays off as quickly as what you'd think that they would, considering that they're down 22 points.
They were down 25 at the half, so this would be. They come back, and they've got. I mean, we got a long way to go before we're talking about that. Here's Vickers. Would be their biggest comeback in franchise history. Vickers, the fullback, is out across the 45, a gain of 2. 3rd down coming up.
Well, this time they were able to get to Romo with Jarvis Jenkins, and the Cowboys, and you would expect that from an offensive line that hasn't been working together, to be able to work in unison and pick up some of the twists that are occurring.
Extra men on the rush. Romo hangs in and gets picked off by Fletcher. London Fletcher, the 37-year-old, has another Redskins interception. For London, that's his 2nd of the season. For Romo, that's his 2nd of the day.
Well, London Fletcher is locked up on Jason Witten, and then when he curls, he lets him up. He lets him go, and you're going to see then what Tony Romo sees. I mean, he's expecting to be able to get the ball into Cole Beasley, but Fletcher fools him a little bit, and he just must not have saw him, thinking that he's locked up then with Jason Witten. He lets him go and falls right underneath that window where Romo was trying to get the ball into.
Griffin takes over at the 49. Hands to Morris over the right side. And out Alfred is to midfield, a gain of 1.
Hey, Joe, we talked about it coming into this game as far as the importance of being able to protect the football. And when I asked Mike Shanahan, what is the #1 key to winning this game? And a lot of times coaches will say it's about takeaways and turnovers. But he said when you look at the Cowboys and when they have not won, it's because they have not protected the ball. We've got to get some takeaways. We've got to protect the ball ourselves. They've gotten the takeaways. And then they've been able to protect it. And they've just dominated really on both sides of the football.
2nd down and 9. Griffin chased by Spencer. And now forced out of bounds by Marcus Spears. And they're going to throw a flag for Spears doing too much along the sideline. And right in front of the defensive coordinator,
There's no
Rob
foul
Ryan.
for a late hit out of bounds.
They're going to pick it up.
3rd down.
And I didn't think this looked like a good call. As Spencer came back into the play, and there was something along the sideline there.
There was contact. But I think Spencer, when he comes in at the end there, it looked to me like he wasn't necessarily really trying to push him or take a shot at him. I don't know that he necessarily need to even put his hands on him. I mean, he was obviously out of bounds, but I don't think it was a vicious hit on his part at all.
Well, it doesn't take much with his momentum carrying him into that bench to push the body of RG3 deeper into trouble, but no flag on the play as they pick it up. Here's Griffin. He's in trouble. And he just throws it away. Gets shoved out of bounds again. It's an incomplete pass. It's 4th down. Forced out by Spencer, Ware, and Hatcher. And it was Hatcher, the closest one to him, when RG3 just threw it away.
Doink, hit Darrell Young right in the head. You know, when Robert Griffin tucked the ball and started to sprint, it looked like the Cowboys might have him, but no chance once he decided to become a runner.
Penalty flag on the play. It looked like one of the Cowboys was trying to get off the field late.
There were 12 men on defense.
And they're going to call 12 men. Wow. Against Dallas. It's a 32-yard punt. It was down to the 15, and it depends on what Mike Shanahan wants to do. It'd be a 5-yard penalty, not enough for a 1st down. So they have the conversation. You can see just mistakes galore in a game that the Dallas Cowboys need. And Shanahan has to decide if they want to mark it off at the end of the play or take it at the beginning and either repunt or go for it. 5 yards closer, a couple yards shy of a 1st down. So we'll get the call from Bill Levy eventually, who wants to go back and check with Shanahan.
And that's coming right on the heels of last week's game against the Browns, defensively not getting enough guys on the field in a proper amount of time, and the Browns scoring the go-ahead touchdown.
Penalties decline. 1st down at the end of the kick.
So there you go. 1st down at the 15. It would not have been enough for a 1st down, the 5-yard penalty. So that one, like it didn't happen. This December, the UFC returns to Fox as lightweight champion Benson Henderson puts his title on the line against top contender Nate Diaz. Highlighting a full night of epic fights. Coverage of UFC on Fox 5 begins on Saturday, December 8th. It's UFC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox. And the official forgot to pick up his flag. So they arm him with his hanky, and now we'll start at the 15.
Yeah, and we'll see whether or not this offensive line is going to be able to protect Romo. Clearly, they're going to have to throw the ball to get themselves back into this, but the pressure has started to mount on Tony Romo in the last couple of drives of some of the games that this defense is running along that defensive front.
It's still just a 3-score game, but no momentum for Dallas. Romo flushed, finds Bryant. Instant momentum. Down the sideline. There are no flags. Touchdown, Dallas. To Des Bryant his longest of the season for his 5th touchdown.
You see, I think Josh Wilson thought he was in pretty good position, but he elects to try to make a play on the ball instead of playing it a little bit more conservatively, as Des Bryant comes across the field, and then good blocking on the outside by Dwayne Harris frees him all the way up the sideline.
And now it's a 15-point game. So with one completion after the punt, 85 yards later, Des Bryant is good. And this is a 2-score game, and the pressure goes back on the Washington offense to try and get something done as they try and protect a lead.
That's a perfect pass by Tony Romo, because as you saw, I mean, the coverage by Josh Wilson was very good, and he laid out to make a play on it. There's the block by Dwayne Harris, which allowed Des Bryant to go the distance.
And there's hope for the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. You know, we've seen the good and the bad with Tony Romo. We've seen Romo try and force it. He's thrown 2 interceptions. Everybody points to that. But some of that comes from trying to force it down in a game. Some of it comes when he's having to escape heavy pressure and do what he does best, which is get on the move and make things happen with his feet and then his arm.
And some of it comes because you have no running game, and the only way you're going to move the football is by throwing it. And it's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of responsibility then on any quarterback, not just Tony Romo. But we talked about it in the first half, Joe. It's a 15-point game right now. We're not out of the 3rd quarter. Been watching Tony Romo a long time, and more times than not, even when he's down by a large deficit, he puts his team back in a position to win games.
That's a career long for Tony Romo, an 85-yard touchdown pass, and the majority of it was the run after the catch, as Banks can't make the 20. Jason Garrett just had a good moment on this Thanksgiving. He had a great moment back in 1994. 2nd-year quarterback Jason Garrett. Injuries to Aikman and Rodney Peete. Trailing 17-6 at halftime to the Packers. Garrett led the Cowboys to a franchise record 36 second-half points and a 42-31 win. And Jason told me the reason you didn't play, you didn't want to face Reggie White in the Green Bay Packers.
No, I never did.
Somehow you got your job back after that and won a Super Bowl the next year. Here's Griffin finding Garcon, and that's well played. Dan Connor, the middle linebacker, a gain of just 2.
Someone else was watching that game that day too. When I asked Tony Romo what his favorite Thanksgiving memory was, he said 1994. He grew up in Wisconsin, a big Packers fan. He said this redheaded guy took over at quarterback and just lit up the Packers there in the 2nd half, and that was obviously Jason Garrett. Quite an evening for him.
2nd down and 8. Up by 15. That was the game once the Cowboys overcame their biggest deficit, 21 points. Last time they did it. Griffin keeps it. That great play fake. And such good, almost sleight of hand by Robert Griffin III. He's good for 14 and a 1st down.
It's that read option that he's reading this guy right here, DeMarcus Ware. If he can't be right. If he takes the dive man as he does, he sticks the ball all the way in. It's hard on those defensive players to realize whether or not he's handing it off, whether or not he's pulling it. He takes the dive man, and then Robert Griffin gets the edge.
Griffin with that play fake makes the defense hesitate and play. Where is it? Is it with Griffin? Is it with Morris? It was with Griffin. 14 yards later, 1st down Washington. After 3 in Arlington. Back after this from your local Fox station. 15-point game. As we start the 4th quarter, this is the 4th Redskin possession of the 2nd half. First 3 ended with punts. In the 2nd quarter, Redskins had 4 possessions, scored 4 touchdowns to build a 28-3 lead at the half. Now it's 28-13. And Morris breaks free. Alfred Morris out near the 49. Picks up 15 yards, and the Redskins need a long drive against Rob Ryan's defense.
Tell you, Will Montgomery's having himself an excellent afternoon there at center. That entire group is really, but you know, if you're going to be good as a running team, you better have a center that is smart and athletic and can make a lot of adjustments on the fly. I mean, any good offense that I was ever a part of, we always had a dominant player at that position, Mark Stepnowski, for many years, and Will Montgomery is playing awfully well in this game.
First down at the 49. Griffin keeps it, somehow gets it to Morgan. Griffin got plastered at the end of the play, and Robert Griffin slow to get up. He got hit by DeMarcus Ware, but connected with Morgan for a 14-yard gain.
DeMarcus Ware has been waiting for this play all afternoon, and it's a clean hit. He comes in clean on him, and that's why you roll the quarterback to this right, so that if there is pressure immediately in your face, you can get the ball out. But DeMarcus Ware has been waiting for that play. He has not been chasing the running play backside. He's been staying home, and the one time the Redskins try to run him on the bootleg backside, DeMarcus Ware's right there waiting on him.
Remember, Robert Griffin left the October 7th game against Atlanta with a concussion, a 24-17 loss. And he's able to smile with Kyle Shanahan as offensive coordinator as he was slow to get up. They take a look at Bruce Carter on the sideline. The Dallas Cowboys will take a break. Kevin Rudolph put on a pregame concert earlier today for the fans, had a couple of sets, and now as they have to help Bruce Carter off the field. They've already lost Sean Lee, the other outstanding inside linebacker on the Dallas defense. Carter needs help just to get off the field. It's a first down for Washington. Handoff is to Morris. And we saw it as we go back to that DeMarcus Ware hit on RG3. He gets the big hit, but he also completed the pass.
Well, that's the point. We were focused on the hit that RG3 took, but he does a great job of getting it out, and it's where Bruce Carter gets hurt, is right on the end of this play, and not sure exactly what happened to him, Joe, but they took him immediately into the locker room. I mean, he didn't even stop on the sidelines first, and he looked like he was pretty woozy, so I'm not sure exactly what happened to him.
He got a stiff arm right to the helmet as Griffin keeps it. And Robert Griffin III ran into Hankerson, his teammate. But he's got enough for a first down. Well, if he wasn't winning a Heisman Trophy at Baylor, he was winning a 400-meter hurdle race at the Big 12 Outdoor Championship back in 2008. And you see what kind of an athlete he was collegiately, as he is finished with the hurdles and then just takes off the rest of the way. And while they measure after that run by Robert Griffin III, we go down for more on that to Aaron Andrews.
Joe, Robert Griffin III's dad actually used to put video montages together of different quarterbacks that he should emulate. He had John Elway in there for his strength, Dan Marino for his quick release, and Joe Montana for his poise. And you joked earlier with Troy. Troy, come on, where are you?
Yeah,
why are you not in the video montage? But he said he used to watch those, and that's how he would just get better, because he would just try to imitate all those quarterbacks.
I think Aaron's trying to make me feel bad. Surely he worked me in somewhere.
Yeah, the hurdle part. They marked Griffin III shy of a first down by about 1 link on that chain, so it's 3rd and inches.
And it should have been an easy pickup. Leonard Hankerson was in great protection as far as blocking, and Robert Griffin ran right into his back. I mean, there was nobody really there, and I guess we'll give Hankerson the assist on the tackle and forcing them to try to pick up a 3rd and short.
Sometimes we type 3rd and inches. This is literally 3rd and maybe an inch and a half.
We got Aldrick Robinson in the game again too. This is a good time to take a shot. You want to come back and get it on 4th down.
And they're going to try it. Pass wide open. Rolling into the end zone is Niles Paul for the touchdown. They take a shot, but they get it to Niles Paul, the tight end, his first of the year. The aggressive Cowboy defense, they came after the Redskins, who blocked it up, and Paul is good for a 29-yard touchdown.
Looked like him right there that was responsible for, you see the flat route takes 2 guys. Ernie Sims, who came in for Bruce Carter, was the linebacker there, and if I had to guess, I'd say that he was the one responsible for coverage on Niles Paul. But one of those guys was obviously, they just busted the coverage and an easy touchdown.
Back-to-back 4 touchdown games for RG3. And Ernie Danny Sims, who was added to this roster on October 24th when Connor was out with a stinger, and after losing Sean Lee, may have been guilty. Cowboys' aggressive defense came after the Redskins. What a day. Another big one for the rookie. RG3 up 35-13. How about that answer to the 85-yarder to Des Bryant? 7 plays, 82 yards, 3.5 minutes. And it ended with a 29-yard touchdown to Niles Paul. That's 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers for RG3. Lance Dunbar from inside the 5. And he is accordion just outside the 10 by Lorenzo Alexander, a good special teams player. At the end of this game, like all television crews do, we're going to give out an award. The award has taken many shapes and forms over the years. Started out silly. It has now gone into some category of a plaque or something that we will hand to that guy if things don't change dramatically.
It had some cosmetic enhancement.
Yeah.
You know, it has evolved into a pretty good looking trophy.
Well, yeah, it has. I kind of like the ugly one. From the 12, Tony Romo. They need another quick strike. Here is Bryant, who had that last quick strike. Continues to wind as Wilson makes the tackle, a gain of 15 yards.
I think that was a time for Des Bryant to go out of bounds. You know, last week he went out of bounds and was short of the first down. That time he really couldn't go anywhere with it, and he stayed in bounds, and you know, seconds are precious right now.
Just over 12 to go. Romo finds Beasley, and he gets ripped down by the face mask. It looked like no flag, nobody really complaining, so my eyes deceived me as London Fletcher made the tackle after Beasley got 10 out half. It was close.
It was close. I tell you, I'm impressed with London Fletcher. I mean, the guy was in a walking boot a day ago. He's running all over the place.
Romo hangs in, finds Harris, and Dwayne Harris with a big one down inside the 30. And the Cowboys won't go quietly. Knocked down at the 26, a 36-yarder to Dwayne Harris.
Well, the Redskins are playing soft zone, just trying not to give up a big play, but you see the holes then that are within that zone, and you get the ball to a guy in his hands running in stride, you can pick up some pretty good yardage. So for the most part, the Redskins have not given up a lot of big plays, and that's what's going to get them beat, if in fact they even get beat, is big plays, and Jim Haslett knows that.
Pass hits Beasley, who clearly wasn't looking for it, right in the gut. Second down. Dwayne Harris, who has a 78-yard punt return for a touchdown, didn't get his head around, and Romo, who's been under pressure, threw it right to him, but he wasn't ready.
Yeah, Romo thought he was going to stay on the move. And, you know, that route seems pretty simple, but you have to be on the same page with the receiver. Got to see it the same way. Man, you stay on the run, zone, you hook up. Romo was expecting him to stay on the move, and Beasley thought it was zone.
On second down, Romo, there's Beasley, who's ready this time. Makes a move on D'Angelo Hall. And the little guy, 5'7", is to the 15 with a first down. A gain of 12. Cole Beasley has stepped into the void, maybe created with the injury to Miles Austin early in this game.
Yeah, well, he has to, you know, because they're trying to do what they can to limit Des Bryant. Here he is, and he's going to get some help with the safety, and so you work the middle with Beasley.
Pass is caught by Andre Holmes, and for Holmes, just his second catch of the year. Good for 3 yards. Second down coming up.
Yeah, you can see the safety there in the middle. That's Jordan Pugh, who he's going to give a little bit of help there to the outside, wherever Des Bryant is. Not that you still don't give Des Bryant a chance on some balls either, because he has that type of ability.
Cowboys trying to make this a 2-score game again. Romo throws high for Felix Jones. Third down coming up. Romo has thrown 2 interceptions, has his 37th career 300-yard day. He's thrown for 362. But as you said earlier, and it's worth pointing out, they have no run game. They're obviously down by a ton in this game, so that to some degree takes the run out of the equation. But it is all on number 9 if they're going to do anything offensively week after week.
Yeah, that's a heavy burden. I mean, there's not many quarterbacks. I don't care who you talk to, even Robert Griffin III's idols, John Elway, Dan Marino, or whoever. I mean, if you make them throw the ball every down without any type of running game at all, it's hard to win games.
It's 3rd down and 7 underneath. It's Jones. And he just wanted it. Touchdown. Great effort. Felix Jones, who had 2 guys to run through, and he did it for a 10-yard touchdown.
See right here, Perry Riley, that opens up that area for Felix Jones. He's got his back to the ball. He's not able to converge on Felix Jones. London Fletcher playing deep, just trying not to give anything down the field. But not until Felix Jones gets it across the goal line for the touchdown. Looked like the ball was starting. It did come out, but Felix Jones obviously lands on it for the touchdown.
They're going to go for 2 here. The Cowboys are. D.U. Williams and London Fletcher. That's who Felix Jones was staring at in his way to the end zone. This to make it a 14-point game. The Cowboys this season 1 for 2 on 2-point tries, and opponents are 3 out of 5 against Washington in going for 2.
Well, 2-touchdown game regardless of whether they make this 2-point conversion, but if they don't make it, then they've got to make 2 2-point conversions if they even score 2 more touchdowns. So relatively speaking, this is a pretty significant 2-point play.
Romo going to take it and make it for 2. Able to dive across the goal line to make it a 14-point game. Romo and the Cowboys not going quietly. Kickoff when we come back. You see Capriotti's in downtown Dallas. We want to thank them for supplying some turkey sandwiches today for us on this Thanksgiving. We welcome you inside our booth. Mike Pereira is here. When we went to break, they reviewed the 2-point conversion. What did you see with regard to Romo's knee and the ball breaking the plane?
Scoring play, Joe, so they got to automatically look at it. I think from behind it shows that the knee is down, and then from the side you can see when that left knee hits right there, you can see that the ball to me is not across.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. 2-point try.
So they didn't do it thinking that they didn't have the clear shot of the knee being down at the same time with the ball breaking the plane.
Yeah, it was very close. You're 0 for 1 on Thanksgiving, but we're happy to have you outside.
It's Thanksgiving. What the heck?
Yeah.
I'll get turkey and stuffing at the end of the day anyways.
We always give thanks for your presence, helping us get off the air cleanly with regard to some of these rulings. How about that crazy one? I probably shouldn't go into this, but the crazy call in the early game that cost Detroit a touchdown when their head coach Jim Schwartz threw the challenge flag.
It's literally a horrible rule. It happened to Mike Smith in Atlanta this past weekend too. You get penalized 15 yards, that's one thing, but you still should review the play to at least get replay to correct the on-the-field ruling.
But as it was a touchdown for Houston in a game they won in overtime. Redskins were guarding for the onside kick just in case, but no need to here as Bailey kicks it deep, and the Redskins will have it at their 20. This week it's a doubleheader on Fox NFL Sunday, beginning with the Vikings and Bears. Key NFC North matchup, Falcons and Buccaneers. That could be a big game as well. Falcons with just 1 loss. Buccaneers are hot. Seahawks and Dolphins. And then America's game of the week. We can't wait to watch the 49ers at the Saints. Also the Rams and Cardinals. Coverage begins with a Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
You think that'll be any fun on Sunday? 49ers at Saints. Colin Kaepernick.
It's not official, but it seems to have leaked out that Kaepernick will make the start after that great Monday night effort against the Bears for the 49ers. Here's Alfred Morris. He gets 2. We saw linebacker Bruce Carter leave. What was wrong, Pam Oliver?
Well, Joe, they were looking at him for his left elbow. They did x-rays on it, but they didn't even wait to get the results before they ruled him out. Back to you.
So now they've lost Sean Lee, and they've lost the guy who's taken over as the signal caller defensively, Bruce Carter.
Yeah, you wonder how that'll impact them going forward, regardless of what happens in this game, because Bruce Carter had kind of helped manage the loss of Sean Lee, but those are 2 outstanding players out right now for the Dallas Cowboys.
Griffin keeps it, throws it high, and it is picked off. Intercepted back the other way, Pepra. And Charlie Pepra is wrestled down inside the 20. We'll take another look and make sure that Pepra secured the catch. And this Dallas defense, which came in with only 4 interceptions all season long, which ties for the fewest in the NFL, gets a turnover. Looks good on that replay.
Sure looks to me, Joe, like he's got his arms underneath that ball. It does not appear to hit the turf, but this is what happens when you throw the ball down the middle high, especially with a safety in the middle of the field. You got to drive that ball down low, and bad things happen when you sail balls down the middle. But Pepra right there in a position to make the play. It appears that he did. And now he's got the Cowboys, right back inside the 20-yard line with all kinds of time left in this game.
This Cowboys defense with just 11 takeaways all season coming in. Number 12 could be a huge one. They're going to review it in the booth. We'll get the call when we come back.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's an interception.
It is the first as a Cowboy for Charlie Pepra, former Green Bay Packer. He was able to secure it, and for Dallas, just their 5th interception all year. And Robert Griffin III, who prior to that throw over his last 2 games had thrown 8 touchdowns, only 7 incompletions, throws just his 4th interception. Romo's been hot after that last pick. He gets Bryant on the outside. Bryant survives a couple of hits. The last one coming from linebacker Keenan Robinson, a rookie out of Texas, a gain of 7.
Well, you think about it, Joe, and the only way the Cowboys could get back into this game was to get big plays offensively and then get key stops or takeaways defensively, and both of those things have occurred.
Romo's 8 of his last 10 for 180 yards. This one's batted down, and in his face was D'Angelo Hall, who got his hands on it. And now big 3rd and 4 coming up for Dallas, down by 14 points.
D'Angelo Hall coming on a slot blitz. Witten recognizes it. He runs a hot route, and you see that the ball's deflected. Otherwise, they probably get it to Witten, and he's able to pick up that first down. But it's a pretty big defensive possession. Big for both sides. Whether the Cowboys can come away with a touchdown, I'm sure that it's 4-down territory for them.
Each side with all 3 of their timeouts. That may not be the case. May not matter. 3rd down and 4. Pass is at the feet of Dunbar. He did not have his head around. The pass was low. Now it's 4th down and a decision from Jason Garrett.
Well, Tony Romo upset with Lance Dunbar. He wanted to put the ball on him immediately, but Dunbar was not ready for it. Had he have been able to get the ball in there, if he's able to beat Keenan Robinson with the ball, that could have been a big play. But I do not disagree with this call right here. I mean, an 11-point game, it's still 2 possession. I mean, they get a chance right here to score with touchdown. That's what they're going to do.
4th down and 4. Bad snap. Romo for Bryant. He's got it for the touchdown.
That's good coverage by Josh Wilson, and it's just a great play on the ball by Des Bryant. And first of all, a bad snap by Mackenzie Bernardo, but as is usually the case with the Cowboys, these bad snaps just go right into the hands of Tony Romo, and he's able to get it and still set up and make an excellent throw. I mean, he put it the only place you could put it for Dez Bryant to have a chance, and he made the play.
It looked like Bryant was able to corral it, secure it, then roll over. They review it as they do all scoring plays. I look to my left, and Mike Pereira, who is in our booth, says it's a good touchdown catch, and he's right. The extra point as the Cowboys convert on 4th down, get the touchdown, this to make it a 7-point game. So now it's 35-28, and the pressure back on the rookie, Robert Griffin III. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck. That's Troy Aikman, and we said, well, we already had Robert Griffin III's name on that Galloping Gobbler trophy. Now it's swung back the other way. I don't think you can erase at this point. We didn't really start. But how about the Cowboys, winners of back-to-back games for the first time all year, doing what they do, and that is get back in just about every game, even the ones they lose.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, I've seen Tony Romo play a lot of football, and sometimes it doesn't start out real good and they have a huge deficit, but almost every time he puts his team at least in a position to win the game. He's done that here. It's a 7-point game right now, and now the pressure clearly all right on the back of the Washington Redskins. I mean, how about that snap? I was just talking to Tony Romo about it the other day, asking him about the shotgun snaps of Bernardo. Remember, he's moved from right guard to center, making his second start at that position. And I said, it seems like every center you have kind of dribbles them back to you, but they bounce right back into your arms, and that's what happened there. I mean, a snap on the ground, he gets it and makes just a perfect throw.
He attempted 50 passes last week against Cleveland. He's thrown 52 today, averaging over 48 passes a game here at home all year. Here's a recap, and your guess is as good as mine as to what we're about to see. RG3, Santana Moss, that was his 3rd touchdown pass, the one right before the half. Then he got Niles Paul on a 3rd and inches. We thought that was the dagger, but it wasn't. Felix Jones out of the backfield, 2-point conversion, good. And now after the interception by Pepra, Dez Bryant is good for the 11-yard touchdown, and it's a 7-point game.
And there's still over 8 minutes to play.
Aldrick Robinson, the big play threat, is in the game at the bottom of the screen. Starting at the 20. It's Alfred Morris, and that's Dan Connor. A loss on the play of 1.
What's interesting is they put Aldrick Robinson back in, the speedster, but the Cowboys and Rob Ryan know that the Redskins are trying to run the ball, and they're wanting to play a little bit more conservatively. I mean, they threw the ball down the middle, it's intercepted, but now they can't go back to what they were thinking when they came out at halftime. I mean, they have to play their game, and they have to turn this rookie loose.
2nd down and 11. Griffin keeps it over the middle. Santana Moss with a big catch on 2nd down. He's able to hang on to the ball as Pepra tried to rip it out. A completion of 22 yards.
And I'll tell you what, you wonder what was going through Robert Griffin's mind, because this is a ball down the middle. Charlie Pepra, number 26, was playing middle field. That's exactly what happened on the interception, a ball that was high. Had this ball been high, the same result would have happened. Pepra's there for the interception, but give him credit. He puts it right on the money.
Not scared is Robert Griffin III. 1st down, up by 7. Hand off to Morris, running right, gets the edge. First hit by Carr. Sims cleaned up, a gain of 5 on 1st down. Stops the clock momentarily. 6:47 to go each side with all 3 timeouts.
This Alfred Morris, I was talking about him earlier, and he is something else. I mean, just a tough guy, and over 100 yards rushing. I said, hey, he might break 1,000 yards today. I mean, it was going to take a heck of a day, you know, what, 140 yards or so to get it, but it's not over yet.
Mike Shanahan finds success at the running back spot in the 6th round. 2nd down and 5. Handoff to Morris running left. 3rd down and about 1.5 yards coming up. Tyrone Crawford, the first guy there. And this Redskins team, which came in 30th in the NFL on 3rd down, converting just 30% of them, are faced with a big 3rd down and a short 2.
Well, they've been outstanding on this down today. And I tell you, I mean, for a young team, a young quarterback, and London Fletcher knows the importance of this down right here. If they're able to take this drive and come away with any kind of points, I mean, answer the bell, that would be huge for this Redskins offense.
5 for 10 on 3rd down today, 3rd and 2. Griffin, pass caught by Moss. And he keeps going to the 12-year veteran Santana Moss for big plays, a gain of 5 and a 1st down.
You know, Joe, that ball looked like it was tipped. Maybe Anthony Spencer, somebody looked like they got a hand on the ball, but yet not enough of it to really deflect it. Take a look here. Yep, Spencer gets just a thumb on the ball and diverts its course just a tad, but not enough for it to be incomplete. And the Cowboys defensively know that they've got to toughen up here, and you know, you're contending with the clock and then obviously not giving up any points.
1st down at the 45. Handoff is to Morris running left. And he just runs right through a defensive back, Claiborne, who lost his helmet. And a gain of 6 yards on 1st down. I mean, this guy, how impressive out of Florida Atlantic. And I know Shanahan's had success in the 6th round in drafting running backs, but I don't care what you say, when you draft a guy in the 6th round doing what he's doing, it's a surprise, and he's been good all year.
You know, you say Florida Atlantic, it was a bad team. You know, they won about 1 game, and yet he had some tough runs, and he caught the eye of the Redskins scouts. And I tell you, in light of the injuries that they've had, they're sure happy to have him.
Outside of field goal range, and they're going to throw a flag, and the official was almost talked into it by Jason Garrett on the sideline. It's a false start.
False start. Number 71 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That was a pretty late flag as the defensive players were calling for the flag with movement on Trent Williams, and he did move.
He did. He got up on his toes. DeMarcus Ware, I mean, he's watching the ball. He's got one eye on the ball, one eye on Trent Williams, and as soon as he sees movement, he's ready to go, and he saw it immediately.
Stops the clock, 4:02 to go, 2nd and 9.
That could prove to be a big penalty.
And now the Redskins have to hurry. They're going to call a timeout. With the play clock winding down, that's the first timeout taken by either team in this half. Aerial coverage provided today on Thanksgiving, and our thanks to the crew up there. It's provided by DirecTV. Roof is open. The windows on either end are open. We've had some rain earlier in the 1st half. Skies have cleared, and on this Thanksgiving, you get to watch what turns into a good football game. You don't have to talk to your relatives if you don't want to. You can watch football and just be quiet. Just watch the Cowboys and the Redskins.
Well, this set of downs right here, Joe, if the Redskins pick up a 1st down, then they're going to be in field goal range, and they may be even without picking up the 1st down. And you got to remember, they've got Kai Forbath, who came in, his first NFL kick actually was on the roster for the Dallas Cowboys at one time. He was on PUP and never actually got to play any. But his first NFL kick was over 50 yards. He made it. He hadn't missed one yet.
We talked to Mike Shanahan about his range. He said about 53, 54, which means getting it to about the 35. Pass is caught, and that's Hankerson for a big 1st down. A conversion by Robert Griffin III and Leonard Hankerson, 13 yards and a 1st down, and now they are in field goal range.
And Danny McRae was the guy in a position to make a play and keep Hankerson from picking up this 1st down. Number 40, he comes up, overplays it. Hankerson cuts to the inside and gets the 1st down.
And it's a 300-plus day on Robert Griffin III's return to Texas. He's throwing for 312. Handoff to Morris running right, and he ran into a wall. Spears was in there, as was Connor, a gain of 2.
Well, the Cowboys now, as they do, they'll start using their timeouts, and you know, I can assure you that Mike Shanahan is not thinking Kai Forbath. He's hoping that they're able to get a first down here and run this clock all the way to 0.
Lowe's post-game show, and then the X Factor coming up right after the game here in Dallas. The X Factor is live tonight. And so the Lowe's post-game show will wrap up from the Arlington, Texas area just outside Dallas, and on 2nd and 8. Robert Griffin III back into the huddle, and we have seen and should continue to see more from Alfred Morris.
Yeah, and Robert Griffin, he has to know that if they do, they'll probably run it here, but if they elect to throw it, he's got to know a field goal with a 7-point lead is huge. And he can't take any chances.
Banks in motion. Griffin keeps it. He has Banks if he wants to flip it. Nice play, Spencer. Now 3rd down, and a timeout taken by Dallas, a gain of just 1. Let's look at the NFC East and why this game is so important. It has been a rough stretch for the Giants. They host the Green Bay Packers on Sunday night. They're coming off a bye week, and as Tom Coughlin said yesterday, I'm just tired of talking about how poorly we're playing. I want to play a game, get back after it, and see how we do against Green Bay. The Packers are surging. Dallas is 1 win behind them. And then you've got the Washington Redskins, who could climb to within a win of the Giants with a win here, and then they play the Giants in their next game.
Well, that's right, Joe. I mean, everybody's focused on the Cowboys and the Giants in the NFC East race. But if the Redskins win, I mean, the Giants game against the Packers is huge. And the Giants, they have to win that. Not have to, but they need to win that game, because whoever wins this game is going to be right on their heels.
Redskins host the Giants in their next game. It's 3rd down and 8. But inside field goal range. Griffin, quick setup and throw, and it's broken up. It hit the leg of Morris Claiborne trying to get it to Garcon. And now the big field goal try from the first-year player Kai Forbath. As Troy mentioned, he has not missed this season. Dallas with a timeout remaining, but they're not going to play around with icing a kicker here down by 7. They have to hope for a miss.
Pretty telling, though, by Mike Shanahan. You know, I mean, he says, hey, we're going to take a shot and pick up this first down and try to win it. And the reason he did is because he had the confidence in this young man right here of making this field goal.
48-yard try. And the kick is good. Kai Forbath, who took over for Billy Cundiff after the first 5 games. And as Mike Shanahan told us, he bounced around on practice squads, and instead of having one of those guys just pop back up, a retread kicker, we're going to give him a chance. And he's given a chance, and that kid is 10 for 10 as a Redskin.
That's a big-time kick. You know, I mean, for him being such a young player, and, you know, look, Mike Shanahan said it a week ago. We're in a must-win situation from here on out, and to have the season really kind of on the line, to have to make a kick and not give the ball back to Dallas with a chance to go down the field and tie it, there's a lot of pressure on him right there, and he just drills it.
A guy who wears 2 different size shoes. Kai Forbath wears a size 10. That's on his left foot. But a size 8.5 on his right foot, his kicking foot. He uses a shoe oven to break it in.
He probably uses a shoehorn to get it in, you know, I mean, to get his foot in. Now, you can imagine how good he feels at the end of the day getting that shoe off. You know, I mean,
he just made it a 10-point game. Dallas with only 1 timeout remaining. They've put up a fight here, but the Washington Redskins are 2 minutes 58 seconds away from a 5-6 record. Same for Dallas. Dunbar on the return. They need a big strike. And they won't get it. Just across the 20, a 22-yard return by Dunbar.
tell you, Joe, they're still, though, I wouldn't count this guy out. I'm just saying that, you know, as I said, the way that the Cowboys got back into this was getting big plays in the passing game. They were unable to do that in the first half. The largest completion, just 17 yards, and then get takeaways. The Redskins defensively, they cannot give up the big play. That sounds simple enough, but yet they've given up the big play. There's still a lot of time left.
Last 3 Dallas possessions have ended with a Romo touchdown pass. Another bad snap. And Romo has to run it. Trying to get out of bounds, can't. And for good measure, Perry Riley on his back tried to knock the ball out, a gain of 6. Coming up on 2.5 left. So a stop at 2 minutes and then one more timeout for Dallas. They need a touchdown, then recover an onside kick.
52.
Well, the Redskins, they're I don't think they're going to bring everybody, but they're sure showing that they're bringing everyone.
They back out of it. Romo throws it away. Pressure on Tony Romo, looking for Dunbar.
Pretty interesting concept there by defensive coordinator Jim Haslett. You know, I mean, in this situation, you can't imagine you're going to go one-on-one and risk giving up the big ball, yet they were showing that they were going to come with an all-out blitz. What happens when you do that is you start running defenders out. Sometimes those guys get out of position and you end up giving up something big down the field anyway.
3rd down and 4.
97 stop.
Play clock at 4. Pass is caught by Dunbar, and that is going to be a first down. Wrestled down nearly a horse collar tackle, which would have been 15 more yards. Hall on the stop, and a gain of 14 yards. Clock stopped at 2:12.
Well, Lorenzo Alexander was the guy responsible for coverage on Dunbar, and I think he thought that Dunbar was going to stay in and pass protect because the Redskins did bring pressure on that play.
Said not scared earlier. Jim Haslett's not scared.
He's not scared.
Nobody's
Nobody's scared. I'm not scared either.
I'm not scared. No, I'm a little bit. First down at the 41. Romo is brought down by Kerrigan. Romo could not get rid of it, and he's dragged down at the 29. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. A loss of 11. And now 6.5 sacks for Kerrigan on the year. Romo shaking his head. 2 minutes left in Arlington. The guys that sit in the front of the truck. Colby Bourgeois on Thanksgiving. Richie Zients to your right. Rich Russo, our director, in the middle. Mike Davies in the back with Jerry Steinberg. Jake Jolivet, Dave Hill, and Officer Pack kind of oddly lurking in the background. He will present the Galloping Gobbler at the end of the game, a game that's taken a long time, been a lot of fun. 10-point game, 2nd and 21.
Hey, 52's down. 97's in line. 180. 27.
Blitz coming. Cowboys pick it up, and the pass caught by Witten. That's out across the 42, a gain of 13. Keenan Robinson on the tackle. Cowboys aren't finished yet, but it's going to take a lot. Trailed 28-3 at the half. They closed it down to a 7-point game, but a big field goal by Kai Forbath was made it a 10-point game.
So the Redskins have everybody within 10 yards of the ball.
On 3rd down and 8. Pass is caught. That's a first down. And the pass caught by Witten, of course. 10 yards, a first down for a guy who's on a pace to have more catches as a tight end, more than any other tight end in a single season in the history of the league.
The Redskins are given a lot of different looks in this situation on this drive.
Romo gets Bryant underneath. He's got to get out of bounds, and he does at the 44. A gain of 3. A minute 3 left.
Yeah, the Redskins, they obviously want to keep Des Bryant or anyone else in bounds, but they'll give up that underneath stuff. And like I said, they've been crowding the line and then they're bailing out. Just got to be real careful when you do that, but they're trying to get as deep as they can at the snap or just before the snap so that they don't give up any seams, but they're trying to disguise some coverages, which you don't generally see.
Romo is 7 yards away through the air from his career high. But he's thrown 2 picks, trails by 10. Romo going for it all. He's got Bryant down there, and it's knocked out. Mediu Williams came in and leveled his shoulder into the chest of Des Bryant and may have saved a touchdown.
Looked like he had a chance for it right there. I mean, he's got his hands on it. It looked like he had it, and just at the last minute as he's coming down, you'll see right here, you know, in the middle of the field, that's Mediu Williams, and he cheats to the left. Romo got him moving just a little bit, but you got to stay true to the middle of the field and get depth. The Redskins are fortunate because that's a ball that we've seen Des Bryant catch many times.
Williams knocked it out. Now 3rd down and 7. Underneath, pass caught, 1st down. Clock will wind. The Cowboys have a timeout left. Lance Dunbar good for 11. They're going to hold on to the timeout and clock it with 36 seconds remaining. So Romo now with a 441-yard day, and he has set his personal record for most in a game, and for the Cowboys and really in general in the NFL. Troy Aikman is still on top with his 455-yard day on Thanksgiving in '98.
Well, unless he pulls off something miraculous here in this game, all 3 of those guys lost those games on Thanksgiving.
2nd and 10. Romo steps up and just dumps it off for Dunbar, who can't make the catch. But that might be a good thing for Dallas, is Romo's got to take shots into the end zone.
Yeah, you got to start forcing the ball, and he could have, and you just can't, you know, there's just no time to be dumping it underneath, and he maybe gets out of bounds, but they've got to force something down the field, and Des Bryant to me would be that guy. I mean, even if they roll a safety, which they will, he's got the ability to go up and get physical and make a play.
3rd down and 10. 31 seconds left. And a timeout. That's Des Bryant. Better snap this time for Romo. Doing all he can. He's got to get it into the end zone. And he throws it away. Now 4th down with only 23 seconds left. Pressure by Jarvis Jenkins, the 2nd-year pro out of Clemson. He does not have a sack this season.
Well, they're going to bring in the field goal team to see if they can at least, you know, 4th and 10, the chances of converting that aren't real good, so they'll kick the field goal here. They were trying to get something quick to make this a more makeable field goal, but at least give themselves a chance, assuming he makes it here, to go with an onside kick and then get one more opportunity.
51-yard try by Bailey, which would match his career high. And the kick with a flag down is good. It's an offside against the Redskins, so the points will stand, and now we'll have an extra chance for Dallas with an onside kick try in what will be a 1-score game. But
offside, number 96 defense, penalty is declined, field goal is good.
It's Barry Cofield, only 18 seconds left, but 1 timeout and maybe a glimmer of hope.
Well, on the 3rd down play, you know, they flushed Tony Romo, and Des Bryant, who I thought would be the guy who would go down the field, he ran a shallow crossing route. So the idea, try to pick up the 1st down, get something quick if you fail, but at least you get some yards to add to that field goal. Didn't matter. Bailey's able to make the field goal, and now with 18 seconds left, an onside kick to come.
Robert Griffin III has a quarterback rating of 146.1. 8 touchdowns, 1 interception over his last 2 games against the NFC East. He's about to up his record, barring the miraculous, to 2-1 against the NFC East. And he will have 10 touchdowns against East Division opponents, compared to only 2 interceptions and a quarterback rating of over 140. This division is going to be bothered by RG3 for who knows how long.
Yeah, maybe this year as well.
Here's the onside kick try. It is returned by D'Angelo Hall. He's going to slide down at the 1 as D'Angelo Hall on the return is going to end this game.
Why would he not just score?
I don't know.
I don't know what that was all about, but anyway,
the game is basically over. And D'Angelo Hall just slid right through there, had an easy go to the end zone, and the defensive back slides to the ground. So it's a 7-point game. Cowboys have one timeout rather, and we may have one more snap, or we'll see if the Cowboys want to bother using that timeout.
And we'll see whether or not the Cowboys learned anything from Greg Schiano. You know, they're in Tampa Bay. If they're just going to say, okay, game over and accept it, or if they're going to come off the ball.
It looks like it is Thanksgiving, and they're going to accept it.
Shot.
Yep. And that is going to do it on Thanksgiving, as both teams will leave here with records of 5 and 6. And the NFC East is wide open with the Giants playing on Sunday night at home against the Green Bay Packers. And then the Redskins get a bit of a break, and they will host the Giants next weekend. Lowe's postgame show is coming up, then live X Factor back after this.